Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something that, well, sounds pretty heavy, right? A new trade deal between the U.S. and Vietnam.
Yeah, usually pretty dry stuff.
Exactly. But what's really caught our eye is how the whole financial world reacted. Not just, boring reports, but memes, jokes, even from serious economists.
It's quite something. It's like humor became the main way to actually talk about what this policy means, almost a kind of code. Really funny, but also like spot on.
Right. So that's our mission for this deep dive.
Yeah.
Cut through all the complexity, give you the shortcut. We want you to really get a handle on this U.S.-Vietnam tariff deal
Yeah, we'll cover what was actually signed, the nuts and bolts.
and how those grown-ups, the economists, really felt about it. Because they're jokes. They tell you a lot.
Definitely. And the running gags, the memes that are sticking around.
And maybe most importantly, what does it all mean for you, for the real world?
Mm-hmm. And just so you know where we're coming from, we've looked at a whole stack of sources. Major news like The Guardian, Al Jazeera, Bloomberg.
Plus economic analysis too, right?
Oh, yeah. MUFG Bank, Dartmouth, Cato Institute, Substack, KBSV Securities over in Hanoi, Fulbright School, NEUVESS,
Oh, okay.
and even social media chatter, Reddit, ASEAN Watchers,
Mhm.
getting the full picture.
So by the end of this, you should feel pretty well informed. We'll hit the surprising facts, keep it interesting, hopefully not drown you in jargon. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay, first things first, the actual deal. What did they sign?
Right. So, July 2nd, 2025, you've got Donald Trump and Vietnamese General Secretary To Lam making the announcement.
And the specifics.
Okay, the core piece. A 20% tariff. That applies to, quote, all goods of Vietnamese origin coming into the U.S.
20%. Okay.
The-
Seems straightforward.
Well, yes and no, because there's another layer. There's a 40% tariff on anything Washington thinks was just transshipped through Vietnam.
Trendship, meaning what exactly?
Meaning goods that basically just pass through Vietnam to, maybe avoid tariffs from somewhere else, like China. Not much actual Vietnamese work involved.
Ah, okay. So a much bigger hit for those.
Huge difference. And then, going the other way, U.S. goods going into Vietnam. 0% tariff.
Zero.
Zero. Plus, Vietnam made a sort of pledge, kind of vague really, to buy more American SUVs and farm stuff.
A vague pledge. And wasn't there talk of even higher tariffs before this, like much higher?
Absolutely. That's key. This deal replaces that threatened 46% reciprocal tariff floated back in April.
46%. Wow. So going from a potential 46% down to 20% for those things? That's a big shift.
It's a massive drop from the threat level.
So how do the experts react, the ones who are probably bracing for that 46% wall? I imagine there was some surprise.
Oh, definitely. And like we said, the reaction was often witty. The humor really captured the nuances, the loopholes, the real meaning, maybe better than dry analysis could.
Okay, give me an example.
All right, Michael Wan at MUFG Bank, his straight take was, okay, headline is 20%, but the effective rate, probably closer to 16% once you figure in rule of origin exceptions.
Exceptions based on where parts come from.
Exactly, stuff like that. But the title of his memo,
Yeah.
a Black Friday discount on April's 46% sticker, shock, read the small print before checkout.
Haha. Okay, that paints a picture. A markdown, but watch out for the details.
Precisely. Then you had Douglas Irwin at Dartmouth. He just reminded everyone of the basic economics. A tariff is, quote, just a tax on home consumers.
The classic point. It hurts your own people.
Right. And the joke going around on X or Twitter captured it perfectly. Calling a tariff a tax cut is like using hot sauce as a fire extinguisher.
Oof. Yeah, that's vivid. It really hammers home who pays.
It really does. Then the Cato Institute's trade blog, they didn't like the process, called it a bad precedent, basically negotiating by threat.
Okay, and their punchline.
Their opening line was brilliant. Congratulations, you've negotiated a 20% cover charge to enter your own club.
Wow. Yeah, that's sharp. The irony of charging yourself.
Exactly. And Robin Brooks on Substack, he warned this tariff hike will show up in inflation numbers, core PCE, by Christmas.
So, impacting everyday prices.
Yeah. And how did he sign off his analysis? With the "this is fine dog" meme. You know the one. The dog in the burning room.
Oh, yeah, everyone knows that one.
But the room was a flaming tariff factory. It just perfectly captured this sort of dark humor or maybe just resignation about the whole thing.
That's amazing. If top economists are using memes, it says something about how hard it is to talk about this stuff normally, maybe.
It really does. It signals maybe absurdity or just, the limits of standard language. KBSV Securities in Hanoi, they saw it as tumduck, like okay-ish compared to the 46% threat.
Relief, basically.
Yeah, relative relief. Their live blog joke was simple. Coupon code Trump20 beats Trump46 every day.
Huh. Practical advice.
And Lei Ginhao from Fulbright School, he suggested Vietnam could maybe get the real duty even lower than 20% by tightening up their origin rules.
How so?
By proving more content is genuinely Vietnamese. He called that a student discount for doing better homework, like do the work, get a better grade, or tariff rate.
Clever framing.
Yeah.
And I heard Fenteron had a pretty bold idea for Vietnam.
Oh, yeah, from NEU VSS. He thought 10–15% was likely, so 20% wasn't, the end of the world. But his big idea,
What was it?
let the Vietnamese currency, the đồng, slide by 10%. That could neutralize most of the tariff's impact.
Devalue the currency?
Yeah. He basically said, look, if Vietnam keeps chasing super high growth, a devaluation of 10%, maybe even 50% is bound to happen anyway, so why not use it strategically now?
Interesting.
He told The Economy newspaper to, quote, think of FX foreign exchange as a buy one, get one coupon on tariffs pay at customs, win it back in the exchange booth.
Wow. That's a really striking way to put it, a financial counter move.
Very savvy framing, and of course social media piled in.
Naturally. What do they say?
Well, Reddit's R Market Flux Hub, you know how Reddit is, rated it hen 10 negotiating, Mr. President. Could be sincere, could be sarcasm, hard to tell sometimes.
The internet specialty.
Indeed. And among people who watch the region closely, the ASEAN watchers. The term that stuck was flash sale diplomacy.
Flash sale diplomacy. I like that. It captures the speed and the discount element.
So these specific jokes are great, but you mentioned running gags too, like phrases that keep popping up.
Exactly. These little catchphrases that seem to summarize the whole vibe or a key aspect of the deal.
What do they tell us? What are the aha moments hidden in these gags?
Okay, there are about 4 main ones. First, 20% is the new 10%.
Meaning, it feels less bad than it sounds.
Kind of. It means the headline number, the 20%, isn't the whole story. The real impact, once businesses adjust or find ways around it, might feel more like a 10% hit used to feel. It suggests the market finds ways to soften the blow.
Okay, so it's about the perceived impact versus the sticker price. Got it. What's next?
Second is that flash sale diplomacy phrase we just mentioned.
Right?
It's not just catchy. It highlights how Hanoi got that 46% threat bargain down to 20% in just 90 days. It reveals how intense and fast these negotiations can be. Brinkmanship, really.
Makes sense. Number 3.
The tariff diet plan.
Aha. Okay, what's that? It's this expectation that Vietnamese exporters now have to shed weight, meaning get rid of Chinese parts or materials in their products super fast, like faster than a K-pop star training for a comeback.
Wow. That's a vivid image.
Yeah.
But it points to a real challenge, right? Meeting those rule of origin things we talked about.
Exactly. It puts the pressure squarely on manufacturers to prove their stuff is truly Vietnamese, or face higher costs, maybe even that 40% transshipment tariff.
Very practical implication.
Yeah.
Hidden in the joke. And the last one.
The FX coupon. This ties back to Pham Thon's idea.
The currency devaluation.
Right. The notion that Vietnam can just devalue the dong and basically give its exporters a refund on the tariff right at the source through the exchange rate.
A self-administered discount.
Pretty much. It shows how currency policy can be a serious, though potentially risky weapon in a trade fight. Pay the tariff, but get it back when you swap currencies.
Okay, so we've had the jokes, the memes, the running gags, but let's pivot. What does this actually mean for you, the listener? Behind the humor, there are real consequences, right? Domino effects.
Absolutely. The jokes often land because they hit on real anxieties or decisions people now face. First up, what we're calling supply chain roulette.
Roulette. Sounds risky.
It is. Think about companies making sneakers or furniture or electronics in Vietnam. They now have a huge decision. Can they survive this 20% tariff? Or do they need to pack up and move again? Maybe to Indonesia, maybe India.
And that affects what's available for us to buy and where it comes from.
Directly. And the cost, too. Which brings us to the consumer math.
Okay, let's do the math.
Historically, studies show U.S. importers end up absorbing about 90% of tariff costs. They don't just eat that cost, though.
No, they pass it on.
Mostly, yeah. So you should probably expect things like Nike shoes, budget furniture, anything really sourced heavily from Vietnam to get more expensive, probably by the last quarter of the year.
So that tax on home consumers becomes very real in our wallets.
Very real. Then there's the currency angle again. We're calling it currency brinkmanship.
Because it's a dangerous game.
Exactly. If Vietnam does let the dong slide 10%, like suggested, it could wipe out most of the tariff's impact for their exports. makes them competitive again,
But
but doing that deliberately. It risks the U.S. turning around and accusing them of currency manipulation, and that could lead to a whole new round of trade fights or penalties.
so it's a tightrope walk for Vietnam.
A very delicate balance. How much are they willing to risk on the currency front? That's a huge question mark.
And one last thing. How do they even enforce that 40% tariff on transshipped goods? How do you prove something didn't have enough value added in Vietnam?
That's the million-dollar question. It creates this compliance fog.
Fog, meaning uncertain.
Total uncertainty. Right now, nobody really knows how U.S. Customs is going to police this rule effectively. Are they going to inspect everything? What paperwork is needed?
So factory managers are just guessing.
Pretty much guessing what their true final cost will be once the goods land in the U.S. That makes it really hard to plan to invest. It highlights just how messy implementing these deals can be.
Okay, that really pulls together the complexity behind all the witty commentary. So if we had to boil this whole deep dive down like into a single tweet, what's the essence?
The deal in a tweet, I'd say. Vietnam swapped a looming 46% wall for a 20% hurdle, zeroed tariffs on Harleys, and might use an FX coupon via weaker dunk to pay for it. Economists groan, meme lords cheer, supply chain chiefs reach for aspirin.
Huh, perfect. Covers all the bases. And just to wrap up, this isn't the end of the story, is it?
Not at all. Far from it. Keep an eye out because the trade teams, USTR from the U.S. and the Vietnamese side, they're meeting again next week.
And their job.
Their job is to turn these headlines, these meme-worthy bullet points, into actual legally binding rule books. The fine print.
Ah, the fine print. Always where the devil resides.
Usually. So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about is, what will those detailed rules actually reveal? Will they confirm the jokes or add new twists? And will the quips keep coming as the real impacts start to bite?
A cliffhanger to end on.
Yeah.
Definitely something to watch. Thanks for breaking that all down.
My pleasure. It's a fascinating situation.